when an idea stops being just an idea and it becomes something you can't just ignore anymore. Every builder has that moment. For Omobolanle Ayoola, it started with people. How they work, how they grow, how the right environment can change everything. She's not just building a company, she's building culture, community and connection. A reminder that when people thrive, everything else follows.
Okay. Hi, my name is Omobolanle Antonia Ayoola. Antonia without an H. Right.
Okay. I got it right, actually. Yeah, without an H. That's how it's perfect.
Yeah, because a lot of people fight me about Antonia. So I always specify Antonia without an H. So Omobolanle Antonia Ayoola. Yeah. And I'm an HR professional. I have a BSc in sociology from University of Ilorin. Data by far.
Okay, I know people from Ilorin.
Yeah.
My sister goes there, so.
Oh, really?
Even if I'm not there, I can see very small.
Yeah, so we're better by far, right? And I'm an associate member of the CIPM, Nigeria, that's Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, and also an associate member of CIPD, that's UK. You know, it's just other body, Nigeria, UK. Yeah, so it's technically saying I'm chartered. And I also have some certifications, but the most important one is that I enjoy outsourcing. So I have an outsourcing certification also. It's an ISO standard. I also have that. And yeah, I'm married.
So yeah, I knew it. So you mentioned something about being chartered. So I didn't know that. Is that in human resources?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first time I remember that.
Okay, yeah, well, a lot of people think that HR is just by hiring and firing, or you just waking up and deciding to, you know, put out the vacancy and helping somebody hire. But human resources have moved fast, just talent management and whatnot. So we have a body, right, which is called Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, that guides the affairs of all HR professionals. So just imagine your medical doctors, how they have a licensing body, right? You have to be a part of that body to be able to operate as a doctor, right? So that's how CIPM is, right? So we have it. And although there are different ones, right, but the recognized or the most recognized one is CIPM for Nigeria. And, you know, it's metamorphosed from the one in UK, that's CIPM. So they are like a gender.
Okay, so they're like the major body, right? Not major body, like I mean.
So we got Nigeria got the idea from CIPM, yeah. So we have different countries and just regulating them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned PPC. You mentioned people advisor.
Okay.
So before people advisor, like, I mean, what inspired that? Like, how the boy going doing before then?
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
I've always loved to. I like to talk. Actually, I like to talk, and then it's very funny how sometimes some of these things happen coincidentally, right? I remember when I was, I think, 16, I used to attend reading, right? So when I was 16 in the teens church, one of our teens teacher, his name is Sholalawe, he asked that what would we all like to be remembered for, either when we pass on or in the future and whatnot. I mean, some of my friends were mentioning how they want to be doctors, lawyers, and all of those things. Yeah. I mean, but when it got to my turn, I said something very random. I said I want to be remembered for talking.
That's good.
Exactly. And it gave me that look like, really,
yeah, I just gave you that look.
Yeah, like,
okay.
And he said, of all things, you want to be remembered for talking. And I just said, okay, that's my, I felt bad because why would I say talking? Me myself, I felt bad about what I said. But again, that was just it. But I had an uncle and some people that were into HR. So they would always talk about human resources, right? But I didn't understand it. I wanted to study law. But my favorite subject being literature, I never passed it, both in GC and then in YX. I just kept having D7. And that's how I took the brochure and then was looking for other courses. I saw sociology, right, which is about studying human, understanding human beings from every aspect. It's really, I really like the course. So when I then was studying sociology, I then started understanding what human resources is about. So that's how I started with human resources. And then it became a part and parcel of me because I saw that there were other things that could be done apart from just hiring and firing that a lot of people recognize HR for. So there's strategy behind it. There's business partnership. But then I used to work in consulting. I've always been in consulting, by the way, HR consulting, so consulting for several organizations. And because I'm a very hands-on person, I would also always join the sales team to search for new clients for the business I was working with. And then, so when we say we are looking for startups that we want to reach out to for us to be their HR consultant, I start wondering, is this a startup too? Oh, we have this type of startups and all of those things. But when we start consulting for them, I saw a gap. The gap was that a lot of businesses actually understand their business function, right? So, for instance, you are an engineer, you understand how to couple the phone, but you do not understand or you do not have a very fantastic understanding of other business operations, say human resource, accounting, so some of those things are always missing, right? And that is what then allows some businesses not scale fast enough or allow them to actually get their business right, the business operation or the business foundation. So I started People Advisor because I wanted to always talk to people, right? But I want to talk to them about that gap I have seen, right? Be able to advise people, you want to start your business, how should you start? Right from CSC registration to registering for all your statutory remittances, making sure you have the right job description. So People Advisor Limited is a consulting as a service business. We offer consulting in HR, finance, product management, growth, and social media advisory.
Okay, that's quite fun. Like, there's a lot of this, like, in that.
Yeah.
I can see, like, how you spotted it. So, like, how did you move from, when you want to, like, start something, that you figure that, like, this is a gap, and you want to really, like, explore the solution for this. So, how do you move from, like, the idea of, like, okay, what this could be, or, like, what you want it to be, like, how did you move from, like, the idea to actually, like, start it?
Okay, I must say it took a lot of courage because the first thing was, how would I move from being a salary earner to paying salary? It was a very big jump. And I don't have millions, neither do I have a godfather that was going to bankroll
your ideas.
But one thing I knew I did was having the right connection, like network, right? So, because I was in consulting, I was managing over 13 organizations daily. I was like the HR consultant of 13 organizations daily. What I then did well was I made sure that I understood the rudiments of each industry I was consulting for, right? Because it is difficult to sell a service, right? It's easy for me to say, buy this phone, it does XYZ, and I can test it for you, right? And then you see it work. But a service means that just pay for something that I can't really convince you.
Need to
yeah.
There has to be a process for you to see the results.
Exactly. So I wanted to, wanted to earn my onions to understand it very well so that when I start telling people that, oh, I want to do this, I can be this for you, they can see, oh, she has worked with this person and then there's that reference, right? That was one. Then the second thing was, I myself do not want to be in that shoe of the gap that I'm trying to fix. Because if I say I'm trying to close the gap of you understanding the rudiment of your business and all that bit, and then I start a business, I would only be doing HR for people. I won't understand the finance and all of those things. So I started making friends in different industries, and I started taking learning from them. Started understanding taxes, accounting, started understanding products, understanding software, what UI, UX is, what front end is, and all of those things. I started understanding it way above what is in the job description. I understood accounting from a job description perspective, right? Because I'm an HR, I recruit. But I wanted to understand the why of everything that was being done. So when I was able to do that, I wasn't sure that I was ready, but again, you just have to start for you to get yourself together.
Okay. So the whole point is just take that first step.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned your network. So I think that's a really helpful.
Yeah.
So what were the major challenges you faced?
Well, the major challenge is quite obvious. Financial. Okay. Right? You need the money. Because there's no idea that it's not expensive, right? You can start now, right? And in the next 2 minutes, you have a need to spend money. Where does the money come from, right? So that's like the first challenge. Then the second challenge is actually building trust. Like I mentioned, it's service. It's not easy to sell. So you need referral. You need to land one client, service the client really well, and trust that they will get you referral. Right? So you need to build trust. And in this society we find ourselves, a lot of people do not want to trust the next person. Yeah.
Especially with their money.
Exactly, right? So, and then visibility. I think I once wrote an article that we have different types of founders. We have the ready-made founders and the founders that are actually bootstrapping. The ones that have just a one bed and their laptop, their workstation is right on their bed, everything is there, and they're spending all of it. It's difficult for people to trust those kind of startups compared to a ready-made founder startup, where the founder of that startup is an ex-banker or ex-consultant at the Big Four. It's easy to trust them. So, this person has worked compared to somebody that who just woke up and decided to start. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I totally agree. So how did you, so now, within all that, then came, PPC, which people call it. So you mentioned about it being podcast.
Yeah.
Before,
Yeah. So people, product and code. I think, December last year, right? Myself and the team, we were talking about, okay, how do we grow people advisor? And we were talking about the in thing now. Everybody was doing podcasts. So I wanted a podcast. I wanted to start a podcast that was going to talk about the people, the products they are building, either as a service or as a technology or what's not. And then the code side of it, because right now everything is going digital, right? So that's how the name came to be, people, product and code, right? I struggled with the name at first. I wanted it to be Workplace Matters. But I have
what is
Workplace Matters,
right?
But one of the directors, who is a PR consultant, said the name is too spot on. Like, you can easily deduce what the podcast is going to be about. So I should come up with something more creative. So that's why I came up with the name People, Product, and Code. And then I started scribbling questions, writing out things that I would like to say on the podcast and the modalities of the podcast. But I just wasn't feeling it. But I just thought probably when I set up the cameras and everything starts going, I will get on the spot. But in February, we embarked on a project to build a software, like an ERP. And then while we were building, one day I was asking the team that, okay, let's imagine we finish building the software. How then do we launch? How then do we gain visibility? We, as a consulting firm that is struggling to gain visibility, now we are building a software. How then do we gain visibility? And everybody was like, oh, we will attend tech events, we will go for this, and, do billboards. So I said, okay, let's put all the costs together. And that cost came in March. I'm like, whoa, this much? After spending a lot to build this product, I'm still going to spend this much to gain users when I'm not even sure I will gain users in the first year, right? And then, I think in April, on my birthday is April 9th.
Oh, that's supposed to be.
Oh, really? When is your, oh, interesting. So on my birthday, I was just meditating and then I was just praying at home and then I told God that I want a birthday gift. What would you give me as a birthday gift? And then I write a lot, so I was in my diary and I saw people. I was like, oh, what happened to this podcast? It's there, just abandoned there. And then I was looking at the events that I had written out that were published that were attend, and I was putting their content together. So I jumped to my husband to say, guy, do you think that do you know of any event that actually does not have speaking engagement? It's just you coming to sell your product or your service and it's not expensive. He said when it's not shoe and bag, that's a trade fair for it's for shoes, bag and clothes. I'm like, I think that's it. I think that's all we're going to do. I'm not doing podcast. And it was like, just like that. And you want to go. I said, yeah.
That's ideas from sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So, because it said a trade fair, so I just said, I want to have a trade fair of software and talent. And I was like, how did talent come into it? You just want to show off that you're an agent. I said, no. The number of times I see people on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, or different platforms talking about how they've been sending their CVs for months and no responses, no jobs. And I'm an HR professional. I know how many job vacancies we post or we send out, and we don't get enough people. So I'm like, okay, startups need visibility. Talents need job spaces. Why don't we have an event that just solves these two? So then we were now thinking, what should the name be? I said, we don't need to think about it.
There's a name already.
We have a name. Since we didn't do the podcast, let's just move it. And they said the name suits the event more than the podcast. So people, products, and code.
Yes,
So,
actually, I love the movie.
okay, thank you.
So, and one thing is that it also like relates to your consultancy as
Yeah, people are like,
invading the culture of people.
yeah,
People that
Yeah.
was
yeah.
So, how do you balance that being a founder and also a people's leader?
Because being a founder and a people leader, it's not easy, but I think it's safe to say that I'm trying to close the gap of every issues that I had encountered while working or even up until now, right? So imagine PPC came as a result of me wanting to launch my software, once I think including, right? People advisor came as a result of me wanting to help people start their business, right? So when I was working, one of the challenges I had was that um it was there wasn't really that sense of belonging, right? You're just doing the work and it feels like you're doing it just for your people, right? So when I started hiring for people advice, I think my first star was a female and she was just fresh out of school. She was doing the business. Okay, I need an assistant. She started in as an assistant, right? But since you want to venture into HR, I'll teach you how to be an HR person. But here is the thing. We would not think of ourselves as CEO and employee. You would imagine you are the owner of the business and will rub minds, right? Luckily, she was staying in Ibadan, so it's close proximity. So the first thing I started doing was training because I didn't get hands-on training. I was learning on the job. I wanted people that would already understand the job, right? So I was doing a lot of managing, and we didn't have much clients. I think we only had 2 clients by then, right? So those 2 clients I was managing, and then I was explaining the why of each thing I did, right? So that when I then say, can you offer this person and give provide an offer letter? The person understand what to write there, why she's writing it, and all of those things. So there won't be those questions of can you look at this? No, I hardly look at things in business because I spend quite a number of time explaining the why of what we do. And when we have a new employee, I always like to have a chit chat, either virtual or physical. And during that chit chat, what we do is SWOT analysis of ourselves. I tell the person my strengths, my weaknesses, right? The disadvantages of working with me. I'm a very self-aware person. And I believe that if you know your flaws, right, and you communicate it, it tells everybody to be able to help you get better, right? And help and manage expectations, right? Rather than this is who I am, but nobody is able to talk about it, right? So with that SWOT analysis, we're able to resolve things. We're able to talk to ourselves, okay, I like to work, right? An early morning person, so you see me more active between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. Anything once is 1 p.m., my brain is on holiday, so you won't find me. So in case you wake up and you see 8 messages, don't fret. It's not me trying to bamboozle you.
Yeah, that was just the time.
Yes, that's when I was functioning well, right? So everybody understands that, right? So they wake up and they see all of their tasks for the day, right? If you need me to chip in something, I'll chip in a little bit later, right? And I have somebody else that is an evening person. Person works well in evening. So because we have a SWOT analysis, we all understand each person's personality and what they do. We're able to balance it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there won't be a place where we are clashing.
No, definitely.
Yeah. But we try to compromise and make it work better.
So you actually just like spoke about how you balance it, and also like touch the point of how you be like a meaningful work culture. Like how you yeah. So like that I'm seeing a lot of like HR algorithm.
Yeah, because we're culture writers, we're culture shapers. I tell people, so I use every opportunity as a learning curve, right? And when we're working or when an issue happens, I tell people that see, you can't say that this thing did not work when you yourself are not making feedback. I try to communicate so that my expectations are pretty well understood, right? It's not as if I'm going to be rumbling behind the scene and then you having headaches, right? I will tell you, it might not be on the spot, but I'll find a way to communicate to you that this and this thing is like, right? And we do a lot of voice notes rather than typing. Just send the voice note because with chat, you might not understand the tone at which the person is typing. So I can just type, are you okay? Are you okay can be, oh, are you fine? Or
Are you okay?
are you normal? You understand, right? So, but when I send you a voice note, you're able to deduce, oh, she's not happy, she's just trying to be sure that I'm fine, right? Compared to, I've had an employee once because I was sending message in the middle, I think by 6 a.m., right? And then the person was like, she just wakes up in the morning and just dropping, pa, 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 pa.
Okay.
Then it was somebody else that said, well, you know, Convener is an early morning person. She wakes up and drops all of that thing. I schedule my emails. Oh. Yes. So when I wait in the middle of the night, I do all of the things that do not require human interaction. I just fix all of it, schedule the ones I need to schedule, add the ones that need to be on the drive. And I like to work with drive a lot so that it's just there. You don't need to wait for me to get them right. It's just there. So, but the person who was having issues with the fact that I was sending the message saying, but she didn't communicate anything. I'd explain it to you. Right. I went to sleep on her status. Right. And then normally I won't view people's status because I've got quite a number of people, right? And I have a lot of employees, a lot of candidates, and I've saved their number, ex-employees, current employees, incoming employees for clients and all of those things. So I have quite a number of people posting status. So I read these status, right? So but that day, coincidentally, or I don't know if it's opportunity or unfortunately, I viewed that state of that day and I saw all of those brands. I was really curious, but I then took the matter to the whole team so that they could read it judge rather than make comments so that the employee do not feel much worse that I saw the status, then I'm coming to say this and this. Right? But I brought the matter to the main group. So everybody sees that okay, this person wrote this thing, this is my own point of view. She gave her own point of view and we're able to resolve it, right? And then look, but it's you know, we try to shape the culture, but sometimes the culture refuses to shape.
You should. All the culture shape is
Something like that.
okay.
Yeah.
That's part of your thing. So how do you feel like right like, I mean at this stage I feel like compared to when we started? How do you feel then? How do you feel now?
Okay, I'm going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. When I said my worries were on a scale of were on 5, but right now my worries are on a scale of 8 because it looks like not that I'm getting it wrong. I think I'm getting it right, but um, some concerns are still not solved. Right, the money is not there yet. Right, and then it's now causing me to want to take a course and take a break, right? So when I said I'm like, is it not just 2 people? I can still afford the salary with whatever I have in my pocket. I'm just emptying my bank account. But now I'm just quite a number of people. I'm now more worried of making sure that there's a pay that still goes out every month. I do not want to go. Before it was just it was easy for me to, just give my hand here and pay. Now I have quite a number of people, right? It's difficult for me. So now I'm more scared of paying because now I'm in it. Like you're in the middle of the ocean. You can't go back.
And you have to move forward.
You have to move forward.
You can't help.
And you can't stop.
Yeah.
Or else you sin. Right? And you forgot it. So you can't go back. Can't stay on the spot. So you have to move forward. So now you're scared of if I keep moving forward, is it the back? Is it going to get better? Is it, But if you were at the beginning, you can just say, well, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm just doing that. But now I'm in the way.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a lot of feeling. I don't know how to what statements or like what word to describe that feeling right now. But like, yeah, that's quite a lot. So I'll just like ask you something then I don't want to say this like 0 to 1. I'll say like what does 0 to 1 means to you like in building? To the building what does like going from 0 to 1, what does it mean to personally?
Well, the vision is much more clearer now. Right? You remember when I said I like to talk. Now I understand what it means by me wanting to talk. Me wanting to talk now means that I want to be an advisor. I want to advise people to get things right. Right? As a teenager, I want to talk was it was just a very vague thing. But now, I have more clarity on it. I want to be an advisor. I want to advise people. I want to be there for people in the best capacity I can be. And so there's been growth. There's been growth in all ramifications. The previous me used to be very tense. I like to just do everything and just move on. But me now is very calm, very okay. I was strategic then, but I'm now much more strategic, right? I now have people that I'm accountable to, right? And then not only directors am I accountable to, I'm accountable to the employees too because I'm technically in charge of their current future. If I mess it up, it's going to make or mar them, right? Even if it's going to be a big force, it affects people. So if I don't get it right, I might just cause a bit of damage, right? So 0 to 1, I think it's going great. Not excellent, but it's better than outside.
And there's something I love that you mentioned clarity. Like that's the matter that is like clarity come and go. Like, you gain clarity until like you actually like
Yeah. Because if you sit down and wait that you get the clarity, it's until you get into it, then you start seeing some things. It's like when you're building a house, right? You think it's just about the cement, but you now start understanding that you need to pick the color of the beans after building. You need to think about functionality apart from just having an apartment, right? So you start coming to, but if you're just sitting there and saying, I'm going to build a house only, what kind of house? What, how do you want the kitchen to look like? What aesthetic? What painting? What flower mask? You know, those kind of, you just have to get into it.
Okay. So one home
Mm-hmm.
that you tell your younger self, I mean, let's say you was like go back and like tell yourself that this is that. What would you tell yourself?
Well, one thing I'll tell my younger self is that only God can be disappointed. Yeah. So I've had to be in different situations that I was scared of disappointing people or what people will say, and then it kept me from acting or it kept me from speaking up. But what I've come to realize is that people would always have something to say. Not everybody will be on your side, right? But the important thing is that your conscience is right. So if your conscience is right, either whichever religion you practice, right, if your conscience is right, I think you should go for it. So I'll tell my younger self, do what will make you sleep at night. If God isn't disappointed when you do.
That's good. So last question actually.
Okay.
I think I'll answer that question. Um what's next for like BBC? I know like people put on that goal is like a major big thing. Right? But I mean beyond that, like, what's next? Like what's in the future? What's the so
Yeah,
so
yeah. So like I mentioned, we're building an ERP. So consulting is interesting, but when it isn't backed with technology, it becomes much more expensive. Right? So you want to provide affordable consulting startups, right? Startups don't have money. Well, I don't have money. I don't know about other startups.
yeah, I thought
Right? So we want to make it affordable. But if it has to be affordable, it needs to be automated. So we're trying to build an ERP that synchronizes HRIS, payroll, and accounting. Right? It's in progress, and the name of the software is Synchronous.
Symptoms. Okay.
But I think I do well with names, you know.
Yeah, look, like so that just sounded like something I've heard somewhere.
Yeah.
But I know like it's the one. Yeah, but like
It's from the word
synchronization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to synchronize the functionalities of businesses. You need HRS to manage all of your HR process. You need financial to manage your bookkeeping. And you need payroll to discuss what the like you pay. That's salary, statutory income. So it's just synchronous.
That's like I mean I look forward to it.
Don't worry, the name is trademark, so
Yeah.
good luck to whoever wants to spell it.
I mean, so this is so people should just watch out for school. So
Yeah.
I think it's really amazing. Yeah, and it's really actually feeling in some guys.
Yeah.
Especially like in that circle. That's what we are.
Provided it remains affordable, because affordability is one thing I want to stand for in everywhere.
So I think they are out, but I'm taking on that. That's so you just give us a bit like talking about PPC and like let me tell me about this is it.
Okay.
Let them come
Okay. Hi everyone once again. So People Product and Code is a trade fair of software and talent. The idea is to have a tech event that allows people to see startups, to see software without speaking engagement. I mean, January to December, we've had speaking engagements, you've listened to plenty motivations, you've read several books, you've listened to several podcasts. We want PPC to be an avenue whereby the trainings you've taken for the year, the new skill sets you've acquired, the technology you build or a problem that you're solving with a service or with a software. We would like for all of that to be the central attraction at a tech event. So we just have demos, we have startups, exhibiting, just the way you go for your normal trade fair where people are selling bags, shoes, eggs, food stuff and whatnot. It's just you moving around goods, seeing each exhibitor, understanding what is their business, connecting with them on their website, on their social media handles and whatnot. And then some dance and music and some drinks too. Yeah, so that's what BBC says about. So stay tuned.
So, guys, we just heard the story of Omobolanle Antonia Ayoola, and I hope you get one of two things from that. And don't forget to stay up to date on people, product, and goals. And lastly, subscribe to Coda as newsletter and YouTube channel. Thank you.
And it's story like this we tell on 0 to 1, a series that spotlights Africa's early founders and operators, the people who are truly building the future from the ground up. It's not about overnight success, it's about the process, the grades, and the growth that happens between idea and